and welcome to Grade 2, Chapter 13, Addition in the Hundreds. So we've learned addition in the ones, and we've learned addition in the tens. Addition in the hundreds really isn't that different. Let's try it. So for preparation, you might want to use 100 cubes. Some of you might not need 100 cubes, but some of you do. It's not a bad thing to need 100 cubes. It's just that some people just don't need 100 cubes. Now, we don't really have 100 cubes, and I trust that most of you guys don't have 100 cubes in your house. So what should we do? Well, we know that 100 cubes look like squares. And 10's cubes look like these weird rectangles. And 1's cubes look like these small squares. So instead of drawing or a huge block for a 100 cube, you could just draw a big square. Now let's use a motto to help us think about this. 200 is 200, so 200 cubes. And then 300 is 300, so 300 cubes. What are these added together? Well, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. 200 plus 300 equals to 500. Now you may be thinking, this is kind of like normal addition, except you just add 2 zeros. Because 2 plus 3 equals to 5, and then you just add 2 zeros. Yeah, that's basically it, actually. So let's do some practice problems. Mentally use 100 cubes to model each problem. Write your answer. So usually on a test, they wouldn't really say mentally use 100 cubes. They would just either say use a model, use 100 cubes, or mentally figure it out. Because if you're mentally using 100 cubes, you're basically just picturing 100 cubes. And I know that some people, there's actually a disease where you can't picture stuff properly. So this might be a little bit difficult. And we're just going to logic it out. Or draw it. So 100 is 100 cube. 200 is 200 cubes. So 100 plus 200 equals to 100, 200, 300. 300. Now it's like 1 plus 2 equals to 3, and then you just add 2 zeros. Now there's 100 plus 300. So we're just going to use this motto again. Well, 100, and that's 300. So 100, 200, 300, 400. 1 plus 3 equals to 4, and then you add 2 zeros. Question number 3 is 200 plus 200. So before we draw anything, think. What's 2 plus 2? 4. So let's check it out. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. 100, 200, 300, 400. 4 and 2 zeros, 400. And this one, 100 plus 100. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. And also, 1 square plus another square equals to 2 of those squares. So, 200. Question number 5, 200 plus 300. We're just going to use this drawing again. And add another square. 200 plus 300. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. 500. We also did that question right up there. Now there's 200 plus 100. 2 plus 1 equals to 3. And 100, 200, and then there's another 100, so 100, 200, 300. 3 and 2 zeros. 400 plus 100. 4 plus 1 equals to 5. And if we really want to model it out, 2, 3, 400, and then there's another 100 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500. 5 and 2 zeros. That's clear now, isn't it? So now we're going to move on to something harder. Regrouping. We're not going to start with regrouping hundreds or regrouping tens, because that would be a little more advanced. We're going to start with regrouping ones. So to visualize, you might want to draw some diagrams or have some base 10 blocks, or just cubes in general. But I know that a lot of people don't have these at home, so you could just draw it on a sheet of paper or draw it in your head if you can actually keep track of it. So let's pretend that this is a problem. 247 plus 136. So we know that we start with the ones column, but 7 plus 6 is more than 10. So what do we do? Well, we think 7 plus 6 equals to, well, 13. And 13 ones is 1 10 and 3 ones. So this is what we call regrouping. We regroup into groups of 10 and 1s. When we regroup the ones, we get 1 10 and 3 ones, which causes us to add the 10s and add an extra 10. Let's do this in a bigger space, shall we? So we have 247 plus 136. And we know that 7 plus 6 is 13, which is 1 10 and 3 ones. So there's 3 ones, and we put a 3 in the ones column. But there's also 1 10th. What do we do with that 1 10th? Well, we put it in the tens column, and we add it up like this. What's 1 plus 4 plus 3? 8. Then we have 8 tens. And then there's 200 plus 100. 2 plus 1? 3. Therefore, hence, those are all synonyms or words that mean the same thing. 247 plus 136 is equal to 383. Now let's use some cubes, or just models in general, to model each problem, and then we regroup the blocks to solve the problem. Question number 1. Here we have 100, so a 100 cube, and for the second one we have 200. There's 20 in the first one, so we have 2 of these sticks, which are my base 10 cubes. And then there's 9 ones, so 9 dots. And 203 doesn't have any 10s, but there's 3 ones, so 3 dots. Now let's regroup. 9 plus 3 equals to 12. So 12 is 1 10 and 2 ones, which equals to, now let's draw this out. There's 300 blocks, there's 2 tens blocks, and then there's 2 ones. But these 10 ones make another tens block. So there's another tens block. Now what's this? So there's 1, 2, 3, 3 hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 3 tens, and 2 ones. 332. The full sentence, or mathematical phrase, would be 129 plus 203 equals to 332. Now, we move on to question number 2. 262. Well, what's 262? Well, there's 2 hundreds, and 60 is 6 tens. 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 is 2 ones. plus 119. 100 is 100 cubed. 19. Now what's 19? Well, 19 is 110 and 9 ones. So now we move on to regrouping. There's 9 ones and another 2 ones. 9 plus 2 equals to 11. 11 is equal to 110 and 1 1. So if we add these together, it would be, there's 300 cubes. So 300, because, well, this. 110 over here, and 6 tens over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 1 over there. But the regrouping of the ones creates another 10. And there's 1 left. How many tens is this? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tens. We put an 8 in the tens column. And there's 1 lonely little 1 left. That's it. 262 plus 119 equals to 381. Now this is for visualization. We move on to the stack form. I like to call it the stack form. After a while, and that doesn't really give you any pictures or anything, it's just numbers. But this is for understanding. Question number 3. 288. So that's 2 hundreds, 2 squares. 80 is how many tens? 88. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8, right? Yep. And then 88 is 8 ones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 306. Or 306 if you really wanted to call it that. Well, that's 3 hundreds. Nothing in the tens because that's just a 0. And 6 ones. Now what's 8 plus 6? 14. 14 is 110 and 4 ones. So this will regroup to a 10. Now let's count. For the hundreds we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the tens we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And another one that we just regrouped. 9. And then for the ones we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 594. Therefore, 288 plus 306 equals to 594. Now we are on the last question of this section. 469 plus 228. Well, 4 hundreds is, well, 4 hundreds. 60 is how many tens? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 9. 9 is 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it's 228. 200 is, well, 2 hundreds. 20 is 2 tens. 8 is 8 ones. What's 9 plus 8? 17. Now, 17 is 1 10 and 7 ones. So this 10 would make an extra 10 block. Now we're going to count. How many hundreds are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many tens are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And how many ones are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 469 plus 228 equals to 697. So since we're done regrouping the ones, let's regroup the tens. And no, this time we're not going to use this many blocks. We're going to use the form. If there are 10 or more tens, you need to regroup and make them into 100. So usually for the form, we have the line under it. Now, 0 plus 0. Note, we always start from right to left. What's 0 plus 0? 0. What's 7 plus 9? 16. But there's more than 10 tens. So where does the 10 go? Well, what's 10 tens? 100. So 10 tens is 100. So 16 tens would be 106 tens, or 160. So for the 6, we're going to put that in the tens column. And the 1 is going to go in the hundreds column. You could put it up here, or you could put it down here. Depends on where you personally want it to be. Just don't put it twice. Put it once. Just put it somewhere that's in the hundreds column, or whichever column that you're regrouping into, and put it once. Don't put it twice. You might accidentally confuse yourself if you do. What's 1 plus 2 plus 3, or 1 plus 3 plus 2? 6. Therefore, 370 plus 290 equals to 660. Now we're going to do some practice problems, and we're going to use blocks. But I'm also going to use the form, as they called it. But let's start with blocks. Question number 1. Show our work here. If there's specific places that you're supposed to show your work, you should probably put it there. 290. 200 is 200 blocks, and 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 300. And 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what's 90 plus 50? Better question. What's 9 plus 5? 14. And is 14 bigger than 10? Or equal to? Yes. Which means that we have to regroup. And 14 is 110 and 4 ones. Or in this case, 100 and 4 tens. Now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'd be 600. And there's 4 tens left. 40. 290 plus 350 equals to 640. That looks like a 6. Yeah, make sure that your handwriting is clear for your teacher, because sometimes the teacher would just look at your stuff, stare at it for a while, and go like, I can't read this, I'm going to give this a 0. It's happened before, many times. Now, we're going to use the form that I so like. I like to call it stacks, but. So for this form, we line up the ones place was the ones place, the tens place was the tens place, the hundreds place was the hundreds place. And we start from right to left. Don't make the mistake and do it this way. You can physically do it from left to right. It's just very, very unsmart. Because it's really easy to make mistakes. Now 0 plus 0 equals to 0. 9 plus 5 equals to 14. And we're going to leave the 4 over here and put the 1 over here. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. 640 equals to 640. Now you may think 640 equals to 640. Who doesn't know that? Well, in math, if you're trying to prove your answer, you write that a lot. Like you write 2 equals to 2, therefore I am correct. Plenty of times, especially in higher grades. It's actually pretty funny. Now we're going to move on to the next question, which is also the last question of the section. By the way, guys, if you want to take a break, you can do so at any time in the video. You don't need to watch the entire thing through. Because I understand that sometimes you just want to do some practice problems. Or you just want to take a break and eat a cookie. Or drink some water. Or go to the bathroom. Yeah. So 120. 100. 20. 2 tens. 200. 200. And 80. 8 tens. Oh, I didn't. That didn't draw on. This is. What's 2 plus 8? 10. Is 10 bigger than or equal to 10? Yes, it's equal to 10. So these two together make 100. Now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 400. And that's it. Just 400. Plain old 400. In stack form, we would do it like this. It doesn't matter which number is on top, because this is addition, not subtraction. If it was subtraction, then it would matter. 0 plus 0 equals to 0. 2 plus 8 equals to 10. And there's nothing in the ones column of 10. So we just put a 0. And then we move the 1 to the hundreds. And 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals to 4. 400 equals to 400. Therefore, we are correct. Ah yeah, this one. Problem solving strategy. Make a table. Use the tables to solve. A storyteller is coming to the library on Saturday. Jack has a swimming lesson until 12. Flora wants to hear a story that is an hour long. Which story should Flora and Jack listen to? So you would like a story that is 1 hour long and starts after 12 o'clock. Because Jack doesn't have time before 12 o'clock. Now let's see which one of these start after 12 o'clock. Is 11 o'clock after 12 o'clock? No. So they can't listen to The Wolf and the Drum, or Wolf and the Drum. And the rest all start after 12 o'clock. But now we need to find one that is an hour long, because Flora wants to listen to a story that is an hour long. Old Man Winter starts at 12:30 and ends at 1. How long is it from 12:30 to 1? It's half an hour. Is half an hour 1 hour? No. So Old Man Winter is a big fat no-no. Now, what about Rabbit's New Vest? 2 o'clock to 2:30. That's 30 minutes. Is 30 minutes an hour? No. So it's not an hour long. Flora and Jack can't listen to that one either. Now Tina Races the Tiger, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Is that an hour long? Yes. And it starts after 12 o'clock. So Jack and Flora should listen to Tina Races the Tiger. Jack, and this is the and sign, by the way, Flora should listen to Tina races the tiger. Now let's move on. Question number 2. Andre has $3. Then he buys a gift for his mom. So these are the gifts that he could buy for his mom. And he has some money left. So he buys a toy cat for his sister. Now Andre has 60 cents. What did he buy for his mom? We're going to have to work in reverse. How much does a toy cat cost? 40 cents. What's 60 cents plus 40 cents? Well, $1. And Andre had $3. So what's 3 minus 1? $2. And that would mean that he spent $2 on the gift that he bought for his mom. So which one of these is $2? The beaded ring. Therefore, he bought the beaded ring for his mom. Now we move on to question number 3. Miss Ling's class is going to the Science Museum. She made a list of the activities for the day. See space models. See movie on the moon. Eat lunch. See dinosaur bones. How long is the movie? Well, there's only one movie on the moon. And that's 3:30 to 12. What's the time from 3:30 to 12? Well, we know that 3:30 to 1:30, 11:30, is an hour. And 11:30 to 12 is half an hour. So what's 1 hour plus half an hour? 1.5 hours. Or 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yay! We're done that. So now we move on to the next section. Estimate sums. Okay, here's a joke that somebody would say. Instead of saying, I guessed it, they would say, I made an estimate, in order to sound smart. Or instead of saying, I just winged it, they would say, I made an educated guess, which is an estimate. So you can estimate to find an answer that is close to the exact answer. There are 517 people in Old Creek. There are 281 people in Old Town. How many people live in the two towns? So we round the numbers. We can round the number to the nearest 100. Or we can round it to the nearest 10. But, well, this question asks for 100. What's 517 to the nearest 100? Well, is 517 closer to 500? Or is it closer to 600? It's closer to 500. Because if we look at its ones, then it's, 1. And 1's obviously closer to, 0 than 10. 281 rounds to, 300, because it's closer to 300. 8 is closer to the next 10 than the 0 under it. Now we add them to find the estimated sum. 500 plus 300 equals to 800. So the number of people in the two towns is about 800. Now I'm going to do a check, just to show you guys. 7 plus 1 equals to 8. 1 plus 8 equals to 9. 5 plus 2 equals to 7. 798 is 2 off from 800. I say we're pretty close. So let's do the next few questions. Round each number to the nearest hundred. Estimate the sum. Nearest hundred. 489. Is 89 closer to 100 or 0? It's closer to 100. So we round up. 500. Now 311. Is 11 closer to 100 or 0? It's closer to 0. So we round down. 300. Now we all know by this point that 500 plus 300 equals to, well, 800. The estimated sum would be 800. Now, if you actually do the math over here, it's actually exactly 800. So it's not even an estimate by this point, it's basically the answer. But it's still an estimate because you guessed, or made an educated guess. Now, 466. Is 66 closer to 100 or 0? It's closer to 100, so we round up. That would be 500. 195. Is 95 closer to 100 or 0? 100. So we round up again. Now this is when the estimates can get a little wonky. Because over here, the answer would be 700. And here it would be 661. Which is a lot more off than the previous two. But it's still not the most off that I've seen. Now let's do some practice. Round each number to the nearest 10. Estimate the sum. Oh, the nearest 10, okay. This is when it becomes a little less inaccurate. 606. Now you may think, is 6 closer to 100 or 0? It's obviously closer to 0, so you round down, right? But no, because we're rounding to the nearest 10. So is 6 closer to 0 or 10? Well, 6 is 4 away from 10 and 6 away from 0. Oh, by the way, this is 6 in some places sign language. Just gonna say that. Well, it's obviously closer to 10, so we round up. That means that 606 would round up to 610. What about 247? Is 7 closer to 10 or 0? It's closer to 10. So we round up again. That would be 250. Now you may be wondering, what if there's a 5? Like it was 205. Usually, if it's a 5, you round up, but in later grades there's more rules and it gets trickier, but for now it's just if it's 5, round up. Now, 0 plus 0, I know this isn't perfectly aligned, but equals to 0. 1 plus 5 equals to 6, and 6 plus 2 equals to 8. So 606 plus 247 is about 860. The real answer is actually 853. Which is close enough, I guess. It's more close than 800, which would be the answer if we rounded to the nearest 100. Because think about it, both of these would round down. Now, this. 307. Do we round it up to the nearest 10 or down to the nearest 10? Well, where is the nearest 10? Is 310 closer or is 300 closer? 310 is closer. Now, for this one, we're just going to go with if it's 5 or bigger, round up. Is 8 bigger than 5? Yes, so we round up, which becomes 260. Now we add. 0 plus 0 equals to 0. 1 plus 6 equals to 7. 3 plus 2 equals to 5. 307 plus 258 is around 570. The actual answer over here is, well, not 570. Instead, it's actually 565. So now we know how to estimate, or well, we know how to round and estimate. We're going to be teaching about adding some money, because this is the actually important stuff. Since you go out and buy stuff a lot, and sometimes your parents will tell you, oh, you can spend however many dollars on snacks, and you really want to know how much snacks you can buy. Line up decimal points to add money. So James buys the duck and the dog. So the duck is $1.72. Where's the dog? The dog is over here. 2.35. How much does he spend? So instead of lining up everything else, we just line up the decimal points. Let's just plop the 2 decimal points over there. That's not the best way to plop them, just going to tell you that, but the duck is 1.72 and the dog is 2.35. Well, the decimal points are lined up, so we just add like normal. 2 plus 5? 7. 7 plus 3? 10. Which means that we will have to regroup. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. And then we drag the decimal down. 4.07. Or he spends $4.07. Yay! Now let's go to the next question and the next question and the next question. Lee has $5. She buys a pig and a cat. How much money does she spend? So the pig is $3.31 and the cat is 1.59. Now let's add these up. Have we got the decimal points lined up? Yes. So we're safe to proceed. 1 plus 9 is equal to 10. So we have to regroup. Now 3 plus 5 plus 1 is 9. We don't have to regroup. And then 3 plus 1 is just 4. And then we drag the decimal down. She spends $4.90. Sammy buys a duck and a rabbit. How much does he spend? So if I remember correctly, the duck is $1.72. And I don't know how much the rabbit is, so I have to go and check. The rabbit is $2.19. Okay. $2.19 or $2.19. Are the decimal points lined up? Yes. We're safe to proceed. 2 plus 9 is equal to 11. Which means that we have to regroup. Now remember, you can put it down here or up there, just put it somewhere and don't put it twice. 7 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 9. And then 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Sammy spends $3.91 or $3.91. Now you could drag the decimal down before you add everything since the decimal can't move, but you could also do it after. Doesn't really matter as long as it's there. Pam buys a dog and a cat. How much money does she spend? So the cat is $1.59 and the dog is $2.35. The decimal points are lined up. You can drag it down right now if you want to. 5 plus 9 is, well, 14, but we have to regroup, so we just have a 4 over here. 5 plus 3 plus 1 or 3 plus 5 plus 1 is addition, so the order doesn't really matter. is 9. And then 2 plus 1 equals to 3. Pam spends $3.94. Just gonna tell you this, but this is actually really cheap in terms of toys. Toys are usually very expensive. But now, we're just gonna do some good old problem solving. We're just gonna choose a strategy, and it's either logical reasoning, make a chart, or write a number sentence. A number sentence is just 1 plus 2 equals to whatever. It's numbers and symbols. That's it. Dar wants to buy the basketball and the baseball. How much will he spend in all? Where is the basketball? Basketball is up there. Okay, the basketball is $3.50. And the baseball is this one. So that's $3.99. Assuming that we don't have to add tax, this is going to be what the number sentence looks like. Now let's do a stack form. Line up the decimals. 9 plus 0 equals to 9. 5 plus 9 equals to 14. So we regroup. And 3 plus 3 plus 1 equals to, plus 7. So 7.49. Nowadays, you can't even buy one of these balls with that, but we're just going to ignore that since the math textbook is the only place where somebody can eat 48 watermelons and nobody will say anything. In all, Dar will spend $7.49, or $7.49. Lonnie has $7.65. He thinks he has enough money to buy the football and the soccer ball. Is he correct? Explain. So the football is $5.09. The soccer ball is $2.35. That's going to be the number sentence. So the logic behind this is that we figure out the cost of these two items, or the total cost of these two items, and see if it is smaller than or equal to $7.65. So after we do some addition, we get that the total cost of these two numbers, or items, is $7.44. So is $7.44 smaller than or equal to $7.65? It's smaller. He thinks he has enough money, so he does have enough money. Therefore, his thinking is correct. You thought right. Yes. Because the total cost is $7.44, which is less than $7.65. You could phrase it differently. Just make sure to mention that the total cost is less. Name the two most expensive items shown above. What would be the total cost of these two items? So, well, okay, I guess we're going to go back up. And let's see. So there's an item that is $2, and then there's two items that are $3 something. Then there's a $4 something, and there's a $5 something. 5 is bigger than 4, 4 is bigger than 3, 3 is bigger than 2. So the two most expensive items would be the football and the ping pong. Balls and rackets. Okay. The total cost would be $5.09 plus $4.87. Now let's go down and figure that out. Nine plus 7 equals to 16, but then we have to regroup, so that leaves a 6 in the ones. And 8 plus 1 plus 0, or 0 plus 8 plus 1, equals to 9, so we don't have to regroup. And then 5 plus 4 equals to 9. The total cost is, you could write of these two items, is $9.96. Which honestly, nowadays, if you try to buy a ping pong racket set by itself, it's going to cost more. Now, Josh buys 2 footballs. Jeff buys 3 basketballs. Who spends more? Why would you do this? But, alright, so we know that a football is $5.09 plus $5.09 equals to 9 plus 9 equals to 18. And because there isn't anything in the tens column anyways, we just put that there. And 5 plus 5 equals to 10. So we regroup, and then we just put it there. We don't actually really need to regroup over here since there's nothing here, but, well, nothing to the left of it if you're being specific. Now, what's the cost of a basketball again? $3.50. All right. 3 basketballs. $3.50 plus $3.50 is equal to, well, 0 plus 0 equals to 0. 5 plus 5 equals to 10. And then we regroup, and then that would be 3 plus 3 plus 1 equals to 7. Then it's 7 plus another $3.50 because, well, he buys 3 of them. That is $10.50. So is $10.50 bigger than $10.18? Yes. So therefore, Jeff spends more. If you want to be specific, you can say Jeff spends 50 minus 18 is 32. So Jeff spends 32 cents more. But since that isn't really the purpose of the problem, because it asks who, not how much, you could just write Jeff spends more. Or Jeff spends more than Josh. Either or. Just make sure that you make it clear that Jeff spends more. Well, that's it. Congratulations, guys. You got through another chapter. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day.